Starting a business from scratch isn't easy. It takes a lot of courage, perseverance, and hard work. But one thing I can tell you is that if you want to live a life on your own terms, it's 100% worth the effort. Whether it's from mastering your finances to diving headfirst into growth, I'm going to share you 8 game-changing lessons that I wish I knew when I first started my business. And I hope that these will help you in your journey of starting your own business. And just a little introduction, if you don't know who I am Derek Quacquarelli. I am the owner of Cosmic Camper Vans, and I've got a couple of other businesses in the background as well. I'm also a business mentor for people who are looking to start their own business and they might need some advice, some direct, very applicable advice without all the kind of fluffy bullshit nonsense behind it. If you're watching this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It really helps me out. It keeps me being able to get this content out to you. So let's get straight on to the first point, and that's about not being afraid to expand or to grow quickly. I'm going to go back to around 6 years ago, about a year after starting the business, where I had some consistent work coming into the business. I knew that I had a market. I knew that my product was working well. I knew that my service was working well. I was starting to get a name for myself. But instead of putting more money into the business in terms of advertising, I decided to kind of be a little bit more afraid and not risk too much. I didn't want to take on a bigger unit, and that was limiting me. I didn't want to take on more staff members because I was scared about not being able to pay the wages. But what all of this meant is that I wasn't able to take on more work, which meant it limited my income, it limited my actual profits and my revenue. So what I would say to you is, look, if you can directly see a positive outcome, a positive return on investment from advertising, to think about putting more money into the advertising, into this kind of like the driving force for the sales, and take on a bigger premises or to take on staff members a little bit quicker, and don't worry too much about the fact that you might not be able to pay the bill. I mean, obviously worry about it a little bit, be apprehensive in terms of some ways, make sure you make a calculated risk. But from personal experience, I wish I'd have made that choice earlier and wish I'd have got ahead with it earlier, because those extra staff members and that bigger premises allowed me to take on more work, which allowed me to generate more revenue and more profit. So as soon as I took on more staff members, I made more money, and the kind of work diary filled itself in, because then I was able to deliver my service quicker than if I didn't have those people. So that kind of goes into my second point, is not to be afraid to take on staff members. I was very afraid about if staff members are always taking the days off, or if they're not going to perform to the levels I expect them to, if they're going to complete the work to the levels of quality of workmanship I expect, if they were going to kind of like either steal from me, these kind of different things. So I was a little bit distrusting of certain people at the start, or certain aspects of hiring a staff member, and I wish I had not been like that. I mean, there's certain people obviously you have to be wary of, but I wish I'd have taken on staff member quicker to allow me to reduce my time input, to also be able to hand over certain difficult aspects of the job that I had that would have reduced my stress. So one of the things I would say is, don't be afraid to take on staff members and give them a chance to grow. You know, the idea that I learned after a couple of years is to take on staff members that are better than you at certain tasks. So I tried to find people who were better than me at doing the camper van conversions, because I knew that my skills, I knew that I was naturally better at doing sales and organization. So that meant I should find somebody who's better than me doing the camper van conversions, and I can come off the tools and do what I'm naturally good at. So don't try to mold yourself to being something that you're not good at, and try to take people on who can do those jobs better than you. Some people are great in the workshop, but they're terrible at dealing with customers. So that's one thing I'd say. My third point is an interesting one. I've dealt with this a couple of times, and I've also helped a couple of my mentees with this situation. It's not to take on a partnership if you can avoid it. The partnerships are kind of like a weird legal grey area, because they are a legal entity for sure. But the one thing I found is that I like to be in control of the decisions in my business. And when I've done partnerships in the past, you're always finding this friction between somebody if they are not the right person to do business with. So that's why I say, if you can find the right person to do business with, then partnerships can be quite a good option, because then you can bounce off each other's skills and energy and work rate. But if you end up in a bad partnership, it can be completely destructive. And I've seen this with one of my mentees. I helped him out of the situation where he was in a bad partnership. I've also been in not a great partnership as well, where the other person didn't really understand business very well. And when you're fighting with that person to make decisions, that slows the business down and can be very, very dangerous for the business's health. So it's not a good way. And you always got these kind of bitter feelings between people, because when there's money involved and there's decisions, people change their attitudes. So one thing I'd advise advise you is don't take a partnership out, and definitely don't take a partnership out with a friend or a close friend, because that often leads to a failed friendship. It very often happens. My next point is to throw yourself in the deep end. So don't spend too long researching the business idea if you can avoid it. The fastest way to learn is through action. When I first started Cosmic, I didn't know how to do camper van conversions. I didn't know how to work in terms of actually doing roof conversions or any of the stuff, but I just learned as I went. I just realized that I just need to get out there, make some money first, get the money in the door, and improve as I went along. I think a lot of people go through this thing, I've spoken about it before, the procrastination perfection loop, where you're constantly trying to find the perfect entry point, and that's never going to happen. So the best thing you can do is just get started and improve as you go along. Even some of the business I'm in now, that obviously my business is never perfect. That's what the beauty of it is. It's like an ever evolving, ever changing game. You've got to do the initial tasks and then improve and improve and improve every single day. Just getting that 1% better, 1% better. How can I make my business 1% better every single day? And eventually, after a few years, you'll have a successful business if you keep at it. Andrew Tate says as well, get the money in the bank, organize the rest of it afterwards. Just get the money in the bank first, then you've got money to play with, money to invest, money to work with, and then you can work out the rest of the deals afterwards. That's the main thing. There's no point trying to do all these different things if you haven't got any money in the bank or if the deal's not gone through. So the next point is to be willing to be agile and adapt, and you need to evolve with the market. What I mean by this is, if you see that there's a trend happening in your industry and you're falling behind, you need to be agile enough to adapt to that situation and don't get stuck in your ways. I see so many companies in my industry that are just completely stuck in the ways from like 5-10 years ago. Our industry has changed massively, even just 5 years. There's different vehicles coming out, there's different types of roofs that need to be fitted. So whatever it is, apply it to your industry and don't define yourself as one type of business. Be able to adapt to something that comes along and could change your market very quickly, and always be looking to improve at any point along this way. So that's really, really important. You need to be able to be agile. A great example of this is just having the internet. I mean, social media. Look at all the businesses that don't have social media that were well established years and years ago, and look how quickly they've gone out of business. You can have an amazing, very, very successful business, but if you don't go with the times, like with AI, for example, that's a great example. Businesses that are not implementing AI in their business right now, they're going to fall behind the next 2 to 3 years, because AI is going to get so powerful, and the people who take the chance to innovate and adapt to it quicker than the others, they'll be so far ahead. They've got all those years to catch up. So it's very important. Next point is to put money into your marketing spend. So I'm driving a car right now, yeah? If I don't put petrol in this car, the car's not going anywhere. There's the exact same thing for your business. If you don't put money into marketing or advertising or brand recognition, etc., you're going to struggle to get sales. You're going to struggle to drive the business forward. So if you don't have any money, get a loan, find some funding from somewhere, go to startup loans company, build a business plan and tell them why you need this money for marketing spends, because you need to expand your sales. If you don't put your money into your business, into your marketing, you will find it difficult to grow. It's the same with your car. If you put a full tank into your business, you're going to find it easier to put into Google Ads, drive the sales through your sales funnel, convert them and drive profits through the business. So that's one of the most important things. Is I wish I did that earlier. I wish I had learned the power of marketing, because I really didn't do anything for 2 to 3 years. I was just relying on my own organic marketing, and the thing is, I was learning at the end of the day. I was still quite busy, but I could have definitely grown a lot quicker if I'd put more money into my marketing spend. This is really a key one for people who are quite emotional, and I've been through this as well with some certain situations. You need to learn to take the emotion out of the decisions and do what is logical, not emotional. You will definitely come across certain decisions, whether it's be hiring staff member or getting rid of a staff member, doing partnerships with certain suppliers, or dealing with certain customers if they're being a bit problematic. You need to take out the emotion that you're feeling. If you're feeling angry, you need to take a step back, take 5 minutes to calm down. That's certainly something that I've dealt with in the past. Think about how that other person might be thinking of this situation, put yourself in their shoes, and just be logical. What is the right thing for the business to do? Don't think about it as you personally. I always try to think about, what would Cosmic Camper Fans, if it was a person, what would it need? What is the right decision for that business? Taking me out of it. I am the director of the business, but what does this business need right now? Does it need to have investment? Does it need to make this decision or this other? Does it need to calm down and not take an aggressive response to a certain situation? Because you're going to come across that very often. So learn to take the emotion out of the decision and just be logical and think about it before you act. Okay, so coming on to the last one is to take work on at the start for free. So if you're struggling to find work and you're already trying to charge for your work straight away. The quickest way to get testimonials and to get word of mouth advertising is to take work on for free. And I see this quite a lot in my industry as well. People who have never fitted a roof, they come in and they try to charge for fitting a roof straight away. You know, I fitted roofs at the start for nothing because I just wanted to be able to get media for my website and experience. So that experience is more valuable than money sometimes, because it teaches you about what you need to be able to do when it comes to actually providing your service. So if you're struggling at the very start, reach out to people. Hey, can I do this work for you for free? I would really appreciate the opportunity to work with you. And you never know, that might lead to more work later on down the line. So that also gives you confidence in your own abilities and your services. So think about that at the very start. So listen, I hope this insights help you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey with a bit more clarity. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And one thing I'd like to know is if you have any questions or experiences of your own, please drop them in the comments below. And finally, guys, if you're thinking about starting your own business, then creating a business plan or a mind map is essential in knowing if your business is going to be profitable or if it's going to be viable. So if you would like that, click the link in the description below. I've got a free business plan template for anybody who signs up. And remember, every challenge is an opportunity to learn and grow. Thanks for watching, guys.